His two-time Cy Young Award winner, and he's only 27 years old, Bret Saberhagen. Bret is 9-6 with a 3.10 earned run average in his 21 starts this season. Some more numbers as you look at Saberhagen on the mound. He has worked 145 in the third inning. He's given up just 131 hits, 5 complete games to his credit, walking just 36 with 96 strikeouts. American League is batting just .243 against Saberhagen. In his last start, that was Wednesday against the Yankees, he beat them, going 7 strong innings. He gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, walking 1 while striking out 8. So he's got great control, and he can be overpowering. He's won 2 Cy Young Award winners, these 2 Cy Young Awards. As we look at tonight's umpires, Ted Hendry is behind home plate, John Hirschbeck at first base, Davey Phillips at second, and Gary Cederstrom is at third. And defensively, the Royals line up with Kirk Gibson in left field, Brian McRae is the center fielder, Jim Eisenreich in right. Around the horn, Bill Pacoda plays third base, David Howard is a shortstop, Terry Shumpert at second, and Todd Benzinger is at first. The battery tonight of Bret Saberhagen and Brent Mayne. Career against the White Sox, Saberhagen is 4-6 with a 3.67 earned run average. He's got a good ERA, but the wins have not been coming against the White Sox, who have been very tough on him. Jeff Torborg, looking at his lineup right there, wants to get some offense going. Last night the Sox were shut out 3-0 on a 3-hitter by Rod Nichols, and Rick Nichols, with that victory, got his record up to just 2-10. So Jeff Torborg certainly looking to lighten up those bats tonight. This is a good hitter's ballpark, but you can't hit the ball in the air because the ball doesn't carry well, and that's why it's a good matchup for Charlie Huff. Between the lines for the Sox, well, let's play with a little bit more emotion, as we talked about in the opening. Get back to that high five and back slab and all that good stuff. And Charlie Huff, he is tough in this ballpark. In this big ballpark, he's 18-9 against the Kansas City Royals. He's a fly ball pitcher. This is a fly ball ballpark. And for the Royals, Bret is the key to that offense. George Brett, that is, and Danny Tartable has been scratched, so he's the other big guy in their lineup. So Tim Raines is in the box. So here's the Hawk.
All right, Wimpy, thank you very much. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball. As a fastball up high from Bret Saberhagen. Raines coming in hitting at .272, 4 homers. He's knocked in 42. This year against Kansas City pitching, he's 10 for 24. And he's knocked in 9 runs. There's a good fastball from Saberhagen, and the count evens at 1. Key to Saberhagen is he establishes the curveball and the change early. Ooh, Lordy, he is tough. Yes. 1-2 the count. 3:30 down each line here at beautiful Royal Stadium. 385 in the gaps, 410 dead away center field. Ballpark built back in 1973, and I'll tell you what, they just did a magnificent job with it. It is still gorgeous. As Ted Hendry calls out Tim Raines, 1 gone.
Batting second, number 21, second base.
Well, Saberhagen doesn't mess around with Raines right here. He just comes with the hard stuff. Good fastball just above the belt. Looked like it caught the inside corner. Timmy may have felt like it was inside, so 1 batter, 1 strikeout, and Joey Cora hits.
Cora 6 for 23 this year against Kansas City pitching. He's knocked in 3. As the outfield bunched and swung around to the left. Bill Pacoda in close at third as he takes a strike. It has been a very hot day here in Mid-America. Get up to 96. You see 91 at game time. Just right.
Ooh. How was Orlando? Pretty hot?
Very hot.
How hot was it?
Big time hot.
How hot was it?
I don't know what the temperature was, but the humidity was awesome.
Ooh.
No balls, 2 strikes to Cora.
Oh boy. Well, this is no contest right here. Joey Cora cannot get on top of this fastball. Watch it. Man, that is eye high. coming in there up and away, and that is some severe high octane right there. Saberhagen looks like he's got an excellent fastball working for him.
Here's Big Frank hitting at 324, 26 homers. He has knocked in 96. A couple of home runs, 8 RBIs. As there's the fastball inside. Against Kansas City pitching this year, he's 9 for 24. He just put on an exhibition in batting practice. Went over that center field fence about 4 times. One time way back up there, just below the big column of the scoreboard. Straight away, I'll tell you, he just, in fact, they had to go out there and clean the balls off. He had a lot of baseball stuck up there in the mound. Off-speed pitch inside, and the count 2-1. Also hit one that landed almost even with the pitching rubbers down in the Sox bullpen.
That's a long way.
I'll tell you, he was just showtime.
Yeah.
In BP. 2-1 delivery from Saberhagen. Gas. Frank didn't like it. This is the 7th meeting of the year between the two clubs. Sox have won 4 of the first 6.
Take a look at this last fastball. Frank doesn't think it caught the inside corner. Ted Hendry did. Ted Hendry wins, and it's a 2-2 count.
Terry Shepard at second base. And a 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. Nothing across after a half inning of play. The Sox nothing, and Kansas City coming to bat.
No score, bottom of the first inning here at Kansas City. Bret Saberhagen breezed through the first. And the Royals will get another look at the Chuckster. Charlie Huff goes to work for the 22nd time as a starter. He's 7-7 with a .380 earned run average on the season. Charlie's worked 154 innings, has 4 complete games to his credit, giving up just 124 hits, 77 walks, and 82 strikeouts. American League batting just .221 against Charlie Huff this year. Defensively, the Sox have Raines, Johnson, and Pascual in the outfield. Around the horn, it's Ventura, Guillen, Cora, and Thomas. Battery tonight of Charlie Huff and Ron Karkovice. Key for Charlie is to throw strikes tonight with that knuckleball. He's a fly ball pitcher, and fly balls don't have much of a chance in this very large ballpark.
Brian McRae will lead it off for Kansas City. It'll be McRae, Gibson, and George Bret to face a 43-year-old knuckleballing right-hander. Brian hitting at .269. 9 for 21 this year against White Sox pitching with an RBI. And he will be 24 years old tomorrow as he leads it off with a base hit. So McRae, who owns the longest hitting streak in the American League this year, earlier at 22 games. Good speed. He has 17 stolen bases.
Take a look at the first hit of the ball game. Knuckleball just kind of hangs up over there on the outer half of the plate. He goes out there and gets it, rips it into right field for the first hit of the ball game. And McRae's got good speed, 17 stolen bases. So, and lefties coming up, so they'll have the advantage of hitting to that hole between first and second with Frank Thomas holding the runner on.
McRae originally was not in the lineup. Danny Tartabull was scratched. They put McRae in as Kirk Gibson steps up, hitting at .243. 15 homers. He's knocked in 49. Gibson this year 5 for 19 with a couple of homers and 3 RBIs against the Sox. Kansas City, that record of 63-60, 10.5 games back. And the Sox, of course, on the 6-game losing streak, lost 12 of 14. Now just 10 games over at 67-57.
There's Charlie's last start Tuesday against the Tigers. He lost, going 8 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs. He walked 2 while striking out 3. He did get stronger as that game went on, though, so that was an encouraging sign in that ball game.
2-0 the count. Outfield swung well around to the right. I mentioned earlier, Sox have played 3 games here this season. They've won all 3. Three balls, no strikes. So Huff just one pitch away from getting in a whole bunch of trouble here.
As you can see, Charlie has pitched very well against the Royals with that 18-9 record. Very fine earned run average, just over 3. Blazer.
Three balls and a strike to Gibson. The smaller crowds we've seen here at Royal Stadium in quite some time. Kansas City averaging 28,402. So it's 3-1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. No score if you just tuned in.
Well, school started today, so that may be a reason for
big time.
Big time, yeah, for the smaller crowd here at Royal Stadium. On weekends they'll be back.
There goes the runner. Pitch fouled back.
Your attention, please.
He had a good jump. So the count goes full to Kirk Gibson. Former Tiger, former Dodger. Got a good lead right there.
Yeah, 1 foot on the carpet.
Brian a little upset right there. The pitch was fouled off. Another good lead by McRae. And a big pitch for Charlie Huff. There he goes. Ball gets away from Karkovice. Now McRae's going to move into third base. Gibson will hold at first. So that'll be ball 4 and a pass ball.
First walk issued by Charlie Huff, and it'll be a pass ball too. You see a 3-2 knuckleball, doesn't miss by that much. Henry called it high, but Karkovice, anticipating his strike, was already getting out of the chute to throw that runner out at second base, trying to get a double play. Well, as you can see it right there, it gets by him, and the runner all the way to third base easily. So it gives George Bret an easy RBI opportunity with nobody out, runners at the corners.
See the numbers on Bret this year: 6 for 24 against White Sox pitching. He's knocked in 7. Fouls that one down at home plate. Gibson has good speed at first. He has 16 stolen bases and 19 attempts. George Bret, 38-year-old veteran. Against the White Sox in his career, .295 lifetime hitter with 21 homers and 100 RBIs. George, 2,805 career hits. That's 33rd on the all-time list. Takes the ball. Next is George Sisler. And then Jim Rice. High into left field. That's going to be good enough to get the job done as far as McRae can range. Stop Gibson, who's tagging. He's on his way to second base. He'll get there. So the Royals take it 1-0.
And a good job by Gibson. He knows that Tim Raines doesn't have a good throwing arm from left field, so he takes off easily in the second base. See, George just concentrating on making contact, trying to hit a fly ball right there. Goes the opposite way, just like you're taught, the left center field. Runner scores easily from third, and as you can see, Gibson in easily to second base. So another runner in scoring position, 1-0 Royals.
They're going to have an appeal play at first. So 1-0 Kansas City as the right fielder Jim Eisenreich, cleanup hitter, steps in, hitting at .301, 1 homer. He has 32 RBIs. This year he's 6 for 18 against the White Sox. Takes it outside. Outfield playing in the pull slightly. Bit of a gap between Lance in center and Raines in left. There's a strike, and the count evens at 1. You see the Sox defensively.
Danny Tartabull was originally scheduled to hit cleanup tonight, but he is out of there with a bruised knee.
That's back up the middle, Joey Cora. So a base hit for Eisenreich.
Batting fifth, number 38, first base.
Eisenreich's got great speed out of the batter's box. He gets to first base in a hurry. Joey Cora is moving to his right hard, not able to put anything on that throw as he makes the off balance offering to first base. So runners at the corners once again, 1 out. Todd Benzinger, who was acquired by the Royals from the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for Carmelo Martinez earlier, is the hitter.
Benzinger hitting at .304, a couple of homers. He's knocked in 22. Benzinger, a switch hitter, hitting .321 here at Royal Stadium. So Gibson at third, Eisenreich at first. Cora go over to Ozzie. Bad throw, but they just do get Eisenreich. Gibson scores, and it's a 2-0 Kansas City lead.
It's going to be tough to turn 2 on this play anyway. As you can see, Benzinger pulls this pitch. When Joey Cora has to move slightly to his left, that made it a tough double play to turn. And Ozzie makes a good play right there, turning himself into a first baseman just to get the force play. Trying to avert a huge inning right here. It's 2-0 Royals. RBI for Benzinger. He's at first base with 2 down.
Bill Pecota, the third baseman, hitting at .290. As Benzinger takes off, high throw in the center field. It'll be a stolen base. Benzinger steals his first base for Kansas City.
Take a look at it. Good strike on the knuckler. This one just gets away from Karkovice. He had him easily. But in the center field, Benzinger, his first stolen base in a Royal uniform. Salk mentioned, and tough out right here. Bill Pecota. He's done a nice job at third base for these guys.
Royals made a decision at All-Star break. They were going to start David Howard and Bill Pecota. As he hits this one now, as he on the short hop over to first, and that'll do it. But not before the Royals come up with 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors, a man left after 1. 2-0 Kansas City. (2-0) Kansas City here in the top of the second inning.
And let's take a look at some baseline, some game notes that'll help you enjoy tonight's ball game a little more. The Sox have scored only 5 runs in the last 27 innings. You don't win often when that happens. The Sox are batting .308 versus the Royals, and the Royals have lost 8 of their last 11 ball games. But Kansas City got on the board with 2 big runs in the first inning, and a lot of times that's enough to hold up for Bret Saberhagen, one of the real fine pitchers in all of baseball today.
He retired the side in order. In the first, he struck out Raines. He struck out Cora. Got Thomas to bounce out to second base. So it'll be Ventura, Fisk, and Pasqua. There are the numbers on Robin. Saberhagen has already shown the Sox he does have some good gas. That was in the first inning. Threw that one right by Ventura.
And our picks to click tonight.
That took Lance.
I got Ventura. Jim Angio took Carlton Fisk.
And our producer director Jim Angio takes Pudge. All right. 21 to count.
Whoa.
Ball and 2 strikes. Wind blowing in from right towards the left field foul pole is hit off the end of the bat. Terry Shumpert. So one out, and here comes Carlton Fisk. Bret hitting at 266, 10 homers. He's knocked in 51. 3 for 13 this year against Royal pitching with a homer and 4 RBIs. Fastball strike. Saberhagen 6'1", 200 pounds. Breaking pitch. Boy, he starts throwing that thing right there to the right-handers.
Good night, sweet prince.
Well, I'm just a big Saberhagen fan. Over the course of his career, he's been injured, but I'll tell you one thing: when he's right, he can put a clinic on out there.
Oh boy!
Fastball on the outside corner. He can absolutely paint. And all of us here at Sports Channel would like to welcome our affiliate, Jones Intercable, and all our viewers in Wheaton, Illinois. Wheaton, yes. Got to get some yeses going during the ball game.
When was the last time you said yes?
Oh man, I'll tell you, this has been morbid, moribund, sad, morose, down. No.
Not good.
Bad.
Well,
Pasqua takes the strike, but it's going to get better. I don't know when, but it's going to get better.
that's right. Well, all good teams go through these funky periods. See a pretty good curveball by Saberhagen taken by Pasqua, but it's just a matter of getting out of it. How do you get out of it?
There's no definitive answer. If there was, you could put it down in written form and make yourself an awful lot of money. That's inside, and the count 2-1. Every club is unique to its own situations, to its own hot streaks, to its own slumps. Pretty good hack right there by Danny on a heater, so the count 2-2.
Well, and winning, as like hitting and defense and all the other things, is a contagious type thing. So once somebody starts doing it, the other guys kind of pick up, and good things happen to the ball club in general.
Ball hammered into right field, right at Eisenreich. So another 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. Nothing across after an inning and a half. 2-0 Kansas City. Right now, let's pause for that break from our local affiliates.
Two 2-0 Kansas City as we head to the bottom of the second inning here at Royal Stadium. And our next televised ball game on Sports Channel will be Wednesday, when the Sox play the same Kansas City Royals at 7:30. That'll be followed by the Sports Channel report. And Wednesday starters for the Sox: Greg Hibbert, 8-10 with a 4.43 earned run average. He'll be opposed by right-hander Kevin Apier, 10-9 with a 3.30 earned run average. He's a good one. 2 runs on 2 hits for Kansas City, and Brent Maine will lead things off. It'll be the bottom third of the lineup for KC. Knuckleball misses outside. Maine hitting at 261. He has 2 homers, 22 RBIs on the season. Young left-handed hitting catcher. Swings through a knuckler, count even at 1. Strike 2 with another knuckleball right there. A little bit more movement on the pitches this inning. Last year, Charlie's pitches didn't have a whole lot of movement to him. He walked a hitter. That guy did score. Here's the ball lifted to left field. Tim Raines is there, camped, and makes the play. 1 down. So Maine flies out to left field, and that'll bring up David Howard.
Batting game, number 31, the shortstop, David Howard.
David Howard, as Hawk mentioned at the All-Star break, was given the everyday shortstop job. He replaces Kurt Stillwell, who has played very well for this team in the past. See, Howard, .228 hitter on the season, 1 homer, 17 RBIs, but he's played very good defense. Stillwell made 13 errors during his time in there, although Howard has made 10 already himself.
Okay, I like Kurt Stillwell.
I do too. Oh,
You know, this is his free agency. Adrian Garrett coaching at third. But this is his free agency year, and I'll tell you what's going to happen is it's so he won't be at Kansas City next year.
no,
It's obvious of that.
Yeah, well, they're not going to pay him that kind of money that he wants to be a backup shortstop, which is what they're thinking in terms of right now. I'd love to have that guy then. I mean, a lot of teams would like to have Stillwell because he's very talented. Switch hitter. Knuckleball misses down low. And David Howard, of course, is the son of Bruce Howard, former White Sox pitcher. From Sarasota, Florida. There's a knuckleball, floats away. Count even at 2. Charlie Huff, 18-9 against Kansas City in his career, and that's not surprising. Has an earned run average just over 3 when you consider that knuckleball pitchers are fly ball pitchers. You get them to hit the ball in the air here at Kansas City, chances are they're going to be outs. Count is full now, 3-2 to David Howard. 6 hits in his last 17 ball games. That covers his last 5 games. That one fouled straight back, 3-2. And here's a reminder that on Labor Day, September 2nd at 7:05, the Sox host the Royals. All kids in attendance will receive a lunch bag courtesy of our pals from Koala Yummies. Call or visit your local Ticketmaster, 312-831-1-SOX. 3-2 pitch. Pulled right side. Frank Thomas going to flip to Charlie Huff, and there's that play again. Frank's got about 10 feet to go to first base, take it himself, and he risks Charlie Huff getting beaten to the bag by David Howard. Look at that.
I'll tell you, well, it's not just Big Frank. It's every first baseman we've had on this ball club. It does the same thing. So somebody, you would think, is pretty soon going to have to tell somebody who's playing first base to get their butt over there and take the play themselves. Nobody has told them.
Here's Shumpert, bunt, good one. Charlie Huff, no way. Oh, that's a great bunt right there on artificial surface. He just put it right down the third baseline and deadened it.
Well, you can't do it any better than this. Of course, Chuckster trying to come in, make the underneath throw. That's just a great bunt.
Yeah. Look at that. You couldn't take the ball and roll it down there yourself, down the third baseline, any better than what Terry Shumpert did. So he's at first base. Good speed. 16 stolen bases in 24 attempts this year. And that'll bring up Brian McRae, who singled and scored his first time up. Well, Sox were thinking that steal was in order right there with 2 out. Pitch out. Fish weren't biting. And you see McRae hitting .429, 9 for 21 against the Sox this season. Good young player right here. Shumpert doesn't have a real good lead. Both feet are on the dirt area around first base. Unlike Brian McRae in the first inning, had a lead where 1 foot was on the artificial carpet. Fakes like he's going, takes strike 1, inside corner.
Minnesota leading Cleveland 3-2. That's in the 7th inning in Ohio. Toronto 4, Baltimore 2, 6th inning in Memorial Stadium. Texas shutting out the Yankees 4-0 fifth in the Bronx.
Big game there for Toronto. They won a huge one yesterday against the Yankees. Down 7-2 in the 8th inning, came back and won that game 11-7. So that gives them a little bit of impetus to go on the road. Here's a pitch, hammered. Ozzie to his right, catches it in the air, line drive out. So that'll retire the Royals here in the 2nd inning. No runs on 1 hit. They leave a runner. We've completed 2 at Royal Stadium. 2-0 Kansas City.
Two 2-0 Royals here in the top of the 3rd inning. Kansas City with 2 runs in the first. Leadoff single by McRae. A walk to Gibson. Well, it's mixed in with a pass ball. And they put 2 on the board. So for the Sox, it'll be the lower 3rd of the order. Johnson, Karkovice, and Ozzie. As Bret Saberhagen has retired the first to 6 in order. 3 of those via the punch-out route. Here's Lance. Hitting at .255, no homers, 35 RBIs. Lance 8 for 25 this season against Kansas City pitching. As Bill Pacoda, even with a bag at 3rd. That's hit hard in the right field, but Jim Eisenreich is right there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Batting eighth, number 20, the catcher, Ron Karkovice.
That'll bring up Ron Karkovice. Kark hitting at .281, 5 homers. He's knocked in 18. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Kansas City. Breaking ball misses and the count 1-0. Fastball lined hard. Foul. Just fouled on the right field line. So the count 1-1 as you look at the standings in the American League West. Al McRae. And Jeff Torborg. Here's the 1-1 pitch. But going foul. So ball and 2 strikes to Carter. Bill Pacoda, along with David Howard, handed those jobs at the All-Star break, as we mentioned earlier. In place of a couple of good ones in Kevin Seitzer and Kurt Stillwell. Kark 11 for his last 29. Checks it up. He did not go. 2-2 the count.
It's that hard breaking ball that Bret Saberhagen has. Kark went out there. He didn't go.
Good pitch by Saberhagen.
Well, you're right, Hawk. When Saberhagen is able to get that breaking ball over with some bite to it like he has tonight on a few occasions and a good changeup, that makes that fastball, that 91 or 2 mile an hour fastball, look about 100.
Takes it low. That ball goes into center field. Now Saberhagen 23-6 in '89 when he won the Cy. 20-6 in '85. Youngster's just a somewhat of a magician when he has his good control and he's healthy out there. Just put a clinic on, pitching to 4 different spots. Gets that pitch in on the fist of Karkovice and the count hangs full. But he'll pitch down and in, down and away, up and in, up and away. Not too many guys will pitch to 4 spots today. Payoff pitch to Kark. Ball 4, so the first Sox base runner. And that'll bring up Ozzie. Ozzie hitting at .262, a couple of homers. He's knocked in 39. 8 for 24 this year against Kansas City pitching.
Batting ninth, number 13, the shortstop, Ozzie.
2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Kansas City. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Sox. First of a 3-game set before the Sox return home for that 8-game homestand. 4 with the Tribe and 4 with Kansas City. Saberhagen has a good move to first base. He's quick. And time is called. Saberhagen's worked very hard. He has built up the upper part. When he first came up, he looked a little bit like just a very young 20-year-old coming into the league. Not a whole bunch of strength, but he has built himself up as there's one just by Benzinger as Saberhagen. Good play. Now he's going to rifle it down to second base. So Terry Shumpert over to Saberhagen. They get Ozzie. That's 4-1. 2 gone.
And Saberhagen does all the little things to help himself win a ball game. He covers first base extremely well on this play. Shumpert to his left. You can see him taking the throw and then thinking one step ahead, trying to get that runner off second base. Good throw over there. So he's an excellent athlete. Well, you're right, Hawk. When he first came up, he was probably, what, 180 pounds?
Tops.
At most, yeah, maybe 175. And if he's up to 200 right now, which he probably is, that's a bunch. And it's good weight, too.
That's properly proportioned. Arms are much bigger than they were.
Oh, yeah. Remember when he first came up as a rookie, he pitched a game at Old Comiskey Park against Tom Seaver. Was he 20? I think it was 20 or right there at 20 or 21. And Seaver was the exact age as his dad, Saberhagen's dad, and Seaver beat him 1-0 that night. What a matchup that was.
Here's Tim Raines. He was overmatched by Saberhagen first time up. Called out on strikes. Fastball hit to David Howard. Up with it. Over by Benzinger. And that'll do it. Nothing across. No hits. No errors. 1 left. After 2.5. 2-0 Royals. Right now let's pause for that break from our local affiliates.
Just ask your neighborhood police officer in the
Bottom of the 3rd inning. Let's take a look at our Chrysler Plymouth scoreboard. Minnesota leads Cleveland 3-0 in the 6th inning at Cleveland. Toronto 4-2 over Baltimore in the 6th inning. Texas shutting out the Yankees at Yankee Stadium 4-0. Boston at Oakland later on tonight. Milwaukee at Seattle. Milwaukee red hot now. And Detroit plays at California on the West Coast. In the National League, it was Philadelphia 4-3 over Cincinnati. They're in the 4th inning. Pittsburgh 4, San Diego 2 in the 5th. Montreal beating Atlanta 5-1 in the 4th inning at Fulton County. The Cubs 1-0 over the Dodgers in the 3rd. New York at Houston, no score. And San Francisco 2, St. Louis 0. They're in the 1st inning at Busch Stadium. And we are back at Royal Stadium 2-0 Kansas City.
It'll be Kurt Gibson, George Brett, and Jim Eisenreich to face Charlie Huff. Gibson drew a walk and scored back in the 1st inning. And that Minnesota score, as we mentioned earlier, is now 3-2. Minnesota leading Cleveland. That's in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tribe still hitting. Gibson takes it outside. Ventura even with a bag at 3rd. Outfield swung around to the right, gap between Johnson and Raines. On just a beautiful evening for baseball here in mid-America.
Too hot.
Wow. There's a strike on the inside corner. 7-0. Texas now leading the Yankees. That's in the 6th inning in the Bronx. 5-2 Blue Jays over the Birds, 6th inning. There's a strike. So the count 1-2.
Here's some news, Hawk. Yankees announced today the signing of pitcher Brian Taylor, the top pitch in the amateur draft, to a minor league deal, ending a long and drawn-out hassle that they had over his contract.
There's a base hit. So once again, the leadoff man aboard. Did they announce the price?
I know it's close to $1 million. They were talking about $900,000.
The natural terms of the deal were not disclosed to the Yankees, and they had reportedly increased their original offer of $650,000. Brian's mother was serving as her son's representative, along with agent Scott Boras. George Bret takes the ball. George had a sacrifice fly in the first inning.
The word, he's got great stuff. Left-hander.
If he's the #1 pick, he's got to have good stuff.
Yeah, everybody loved him.
That's into center field. That's a base hit. Lance gets it back in, so the Royals first 2 men aboard here in the third. One thing about it, when you give those high school instead of being able to control their draft rights for 3 or 4 years, when you can only control them for 1 year, well, it gives them a lot of leverage.
Sure does, yeah. Well, he had him.
Got to be more equitable, as you see. Southpaw Ken Patterson, son of Gene,
from McGregor,
he's starting to loosen up. Jim Eisenreich had an infield single in the first inning. Corners in close. That one does not come back to get the plate. Minnesota now hitting in the top of the 8th inning, still leading Cleveland 3-2. As you just saw on our Chrysler Plymouth scoreboards, Boston will be at Oakland. They were swept. Big E in Anaheim. That's in the left field. Raines giving ground as Gibson's going to tag at second. Raines makes the catch. Both runners now going to go. Here's the throw to second base. Not in time. So George Bret moves from first to second.
Oh, right there, shades of the old Kansas City Royals, late 70s, early 80s, when they were just base running phenoms. Anytime the ball was sitting in the air someplace or in the gap, they always got an extra base. And right there, even though Eisenreich didn't pull the ball, which is what he wanted to do in that situation, the good base running by Gibson and Bret gets him to second and third. They will take advantage if you don't have a good, strong throwing arm.
Here's Todd Benzinger. Hit into a forced play in the first inning. Now they're going to have a field play at second. So that's 2 appeal plays they've had on Kirk Gibson. Both for naught.
Maybe he just looks like he got there too quick, huh? For a big guy, he can still really run. And he's healthy. Talk about what a great football player he was at Michigan State. People tell me that in his senior year of football, he was the best pro football prospect in that draft. He was good.
Well, he's made enough money in baseball to take care of that.
Yeah.
Benzinger takes a strike. Outfield for the most part straight up.
Well, you don't see many 6'3", 220-pound wide receivers. Back then, anyway.
2-0 Kansas City. As that Souvenir left side in the count, 2 strikes. Benzinger, originally with Boston, went to Cincinnati. Now to Kansas City. The young man's been fortunate in one respect. He's played in 3 good cities.
That he has.
Sox with the infield in. Chopper Ventura came in now. Ball gets over his head as 2 runs are going to score. Robin misjudged that one. And it's a 4-0 Kansas City lead. Yeah,
Robin had a chance to take a back step, to go backwards, and he would have had a play on Benzinger, but in his anxiety to really get Gibson at home plate. Watch it right here. Ball hit very high, and Robin took a step in, as a matter of fact, instead of going back. And that would have at least stopped at least one of the 2 runs from scoring. I don't know if Gibson going on contact would have been able to score on that or not, but it's 4-0 Kansas City. 2 RBIs for Benzinger. He's got 3 RBIs tonight.
Here's Pacoda. They'll bounce out to Ozzie to end the first inning. Check that. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Kansas City. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Sox. Pitch out, nothing on. Benzinger stole his first base in a Royal uniform in the first inning. There he goes. Pitch foul away. He's got 3 RBIs tonight, and he's got 2 of the softest little. Just goes to show you, numbers are deceiving.
That's right. Well, he hit that little weak ground ball to Joey Cora's left. I don't think they were going to turn 2 on it anyway. Runner scored from third. Good play by Ozzie to just catch the ball at second base, and right there, the AstroTurf single over the third baseman's head, who was drawn in.
Oh, Lordy. 1-1 pitch. A ball is striking out. 2-1. Pitching matchups for the rest of this series. Wilson Alvarez tomorrow against Southpaw Mark Davis. Luis Aquino was scheduled to go. They have scratched him. And then on Wednesday in the finale, Greg Hibbard against Kevin Apier. So the Sox trying to break the 6-game losing streak. It does not look too good tonight. With Saberhagen throwing the way he is.
No, it doesn't, but there's always that chance.
There goes the runner. Ball hammered foul.
Here's a guy you really got to like, Bill Pacoda. Now, he's the kind of guy that was on that freeway the whole time. I don't know what road it is to Omaha, but he was just constantly being shuffled back and forth. I-29, Jim Angio tells us. And here's a guy come up when the guy had an injury. He'd always do a pretty decent job filling in, playing all the utility infield positions. Never really stuck. Now he's getting his first real chance to play on an everyday basis, and he's making the most of it.
Well, Kevin Sicer's hand injury got his season off to a dampened start. But yeah, Pacoda to me is a good 5th infielder. But if you're looking to try to win a pennant, and of course we don't know what the extent of Sicer's injury is to this point. But Sicer's put the numbers on the board in the past to prove he is a contending ball player.
That's right. Well, it usually takes about a year for the hand to heal completely.
That ball hit hard into the gap. Charlie Huff got a hanger up there, so Benzinger's going to score. Now Pacoda's going to turn it on, going to third base. They get him. But it's a 5-0 Kansas City lead.
Oh, that ball is just right down the middle of the plate. Bell tie didn't do a whole lot. Benzinger will score easily. Sox do one thing right here. They execute the cutoff play. Ozzie Guillen, the one hopper. He's a dead duck. That's a second out of the inning. But it's a 5-0 Kansas City lead as Brent Mayne hits.
Takes the strike. Brent Mayne fly to left field. And 23 years old. This Kansas City club has got some youngsters in there. We mentioned Brian McCray, Hal McCray's son, will be 24 tomorrow. Maine 23, Howard 24, Shumpert just turned 25.
How old's McFarland?
I think he's 27.
Yeah, he's still got.
But the pitching staff, really, I'll tell you, the Kansas City pitching staff is last couple of springs has been the hinge on everybody judged their play. And the Kansas City pitching staff the last couple of seasons has had big time physical problems.
Oh yeah, you look at Gubaza. Saberhagen's been hurt quite a bit. Of course, Mark Davis.
It's in the left field, base hit. Jeff Torborg, 5 runs on 8 hits now for the Royals as he's going to make a change. Breaking the action right here is Charlie Huff is hit hard. 5 runs on 8 hits, and we'll be back to give you the numbers on Ken Patterson right after this.
Left-hander Ken Patterson comes out to work for the White Sox. He's appearing in his 34th ball game, 3-0 with a 2.53 earned run average so far this year. KP has given up just 38 hits and 53 in the 3rd innings. 1 save to his credit, 29 walks, 28 strikeouts. The American League is batting just .201 against Ken Patterson, so he has done a nice job for the Sox this season. Now you look at Charlie Huff. Well, Charlie had another tough outing tonight, going just 2 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs all earned on 8 hits. He walked 1 while he didn't strike out anybody. So Patterson in there right now. Ken has done a great job. He's really developing into a fine pitcher. Last year, he was basically 2-pitch pitcher. Had a little slurve and a fastball. Fastball was his #1 pitch, of course, and now he's taking something off of those pitches. He's got 4 or 5 of them right now that he can use.
He's got a good slider and he's using that fork ball as David Howard steps in. David, let's go ahead, a little soft comebacker. There's 2 outs, gang.
Yeah.
There's a sign of the times. So they get 4 outs here against Kansas City as Kansas City gets 3 runs against them, and after 3, it's 5-0 Royals. $5-0 Royals as we get set to go to the top of the 4th inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Kansas City. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Sox. Just 1 base runner for the Sox. That was a 3rd inning walk to Karkovice. Bret Saberhagen with 3 punch outs. It'll be Cora, Thomas, and Ventura. And while we have a moment, check out the American League East. The Tigers hanging tough. Red Sox, Brew Crew, look where they have come from nowhere. I believe they've won 8 out of their last 10 ball games.
Brewers, yeah, they've been red hot.
Of course, they swept Oakland. Boston was swept out in Anaheim all 6 games this year. First time that's ever happened. So here's Cora. He was a strikeout victim his first trip. Dakota in close at 3rd. Yes. Right side, Todd Benzinger.
And here's a reminder that there will be White Sox batting helmets from Coca-Cola for all kids Sunday, September 1st, as the Sox host the Indians at 1:35. Tickets are available at your local Ticketmaster or call 312-831-1-SOX.
Here's Big Frank. Bounced out Shumpert to Benzinger. Fastball inside just off the plate.
Well, you're right. It's amazing that Saberhagen can pitch those 4 spots with that fastball of his. Down and in, up and away, down and away.
Change upstairs and the count 2-0.
You know, with equal amount of effectiveness too.
Saberhagen, since he's come into this league, has pitched some of the best ball games I have ever seen pitched. anywhere as there's a fastball on the inside corner and the count 2-1. I mean, it seems like once a year, you know, when he's healthy, once a year, he'll give you one of those games that you can just put it in a time capsule.
Yeah.
It just should go to Cooperstown, clinic time. Strike and the count 2-2.
Well, I don't know. These pitches look all right to me. Frank isn't satisfied with a bunch of the calls, especially on the inside corner by Ted Hendry.
Well, the 2-2 pitch.
Whoa.
Lays off of it. Full count. What's new? Howard. 2 gone.
And while we have a moment, I want to welcome Ernie and Patty Valadares, whom I met on the plane today, who are celebrating their honeymoon with the White Sox here in Kansas City. They were married on Saturday. What a nice couple.
Yeah, because they gave you a ride in for free from the airport.
They gave me a nice ride. We had a nice conversation.
Well, if it's free, I'll guarantee you could definitely wow them. If you had to pay half, so you wouldn't have said a word.
Gave them directions. Well, they needed a car, and I said, "Do you need a guide?"
Car. Robin with a 1-strike count. Boy, it's a job from the airport here to the hotel. There's a strike and the count 0-2.
Now, what'd you pay?
40 beans. Made a deal before I got in the cab. I'm learning from you, Wimpy. Broken bat, comebacker. So once again, for the 3rd time in 4 innings, Saberhagen retires his side in order after 3.5. 5-0 Royals. Right now, let's pause for that break from our local affiliates.
Continue a tradition of sharing.
5-0 Royals. It has not been pretty, though, so far. In fact, it has not been pretty on this road trip, nor was it pretty on that last 3-game homestand. But it's going to get better. 5-8-0 for the Royals. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Sox. Terry Shumpert will lead it off for Kansas City. Had a beautiful bunt single back in the 2nd inning. Minnesota now leading Cleveland 5-2, top of the 9th inning, and still hitting. Toronto leading Baltimore 5-2, top of the 7th. At Memorial Stadium, still hitting. Foul down at home plate. Texas shutting out the Yankees 7-0. Bottom of the 6th in the Bronx.
How about this road trip for the Tigers now? They're playing at California tonight. You know, they're getting out of the friendly confines of Tiger Stadium. What do you look for them to do on that West Coast swing?
Well, they're flying high. You know, they got a great home record that at one point was the best in the major leagues. As a count of ball and 2 strikes to Shumpert. But their track record is one that they have been scuffling on the road very definitely. And we'll just have to wait and see. I tell you, I'm a believer, as we talked about in Sparky. They're in the hunt. They're tied with the Blue Jays. I know one thing, from my standpoint, I'm pulling hard for the Tigers. I really am. I think it'd be just a sensational story if they could beat such a far superior club
than the Blue Jays. Yeah. Well, they have certainly the experience factor is going to be on their side because they're a team right now that is doing those little things, especially on offense, getting runners over, driving in the run from third base. That's important. There's strike 3 by Patterson. He gets Shumpert. That's his first strikeout.
Looked like that splitter right here from KP. That's what it was, and He'll grab some bitch.
You don't see many left-handers throw that split finger pitch. Ken Patterson, boy, he's taught himself, it looked like, into becoming an excellent pitcher right now.
The splitter low and away and that slider low and in.
Yeah. Huh.
Man.
Forget it.
Here's McRae. He's 1 for 2. There's a backdoor slider. They singled and scored in the first, and he lined hard to Ozzie to end the second. Hit him. Slider down and in.
Well, that is occasionally going to happen when you bear that thing down and into a right-handed hitter, that left-handed pitcher. Sometimes you just can't run away from it. There you see McRae striding into the ball. You get him on the front foot?
No, back foot.
Did it get? Yeah, it's the back foot. Right, they look almost on the shin. That hurts. And big news today in baseball. California Angels fired Doug Rader today and named Buck Rogers as his replacement. Rogers will make his California debut tonight when the Angels host the Tigers. Well, the Angels are in last place in the West with a 61-63 record. And he was fired despite the fact they won 3 from Boston over the weekend.
Kirk Gibson takes the ball. Gibson has walked, scored a run. He single, scored a run. Orioles with 2 in the first, 3 in the third.
Go figure.
Ball gets away from Big Frank. Throwing error by Patterson. McRae's turning second. He's on his way to third. He'll get there.
Well, McRae's got that good speed, and plus he knows that Frank Thomas does not throw well. As a matter of fact, I'm sure they went over in the pregame report that anytime you have a chance to run on anybody's arm on this White Sox club, take advantage of it. See if they can't throw you out. Frank cannot do it here. So he's at third base with 1 out. A good RBI opportunity for Kirk Gibson. And the infield once again will come in.
A ball and no strikes. That's in the gap. Lance gets to it. Gibson now. He's going to give it a shot at third base. Overthrow. Relay. Not in time. 6-0 Kansas City.
Well, the hit was impressive, but even more so was Kirk Gibson. His ability to go from first to third, from home to third, that is, on this triple. Ball hit like a bullet in the right center field gap. White Sox do a pretty good job on the relay. No chance. Gibby's in there with his 6th triple on the season. He gets an RBI. That makes it 50. And George Bret gets the same opportunity now with that runner at third base and just 1 out. Here's Sammy Ellis out to the mound now to talk to Ken Patterson.
So George Brett steps in. George had a sacrifice fly in the first inning to left field. Then he singled in the third, and he scored a run. So Kansas City just coming out and hammering Sox pitching tonight. There's the strike. Oh, and 1 to the 38-year-old veteran. Little chin music right there from Patterson. The fastball up and in. So the count, 2 balls and a strike. Slider low and away, 3-1 with Eisenreich on deck. Outfield shaded to the left. Big gap between Lance and Danny Pasqua. George fouls that one away, and the count goes full. Minnesota still leading Cleveland 5-2 in the 9th inning at Cleveland Stadium. A lot of similarities in Ventura and Bret. It's ball 4.
Oh, yeah.
So with 1 out, runners at the corners, here's the right fielder Eisenreich, who has an infield single, and he's fly to left.
I think George is a bit frustrated right now because he does have that knee brace on. You know it's got to be tough for him to hit and run and do all the things that he loves to do on the baseball field. But he does. That Robin Ventura and he do have a lot in common.
1-0 the count to Eisenreich. Into left field. Bret's tagging. He's not going to go on this one. Gibson scores. 7-0.
The first baseman, Tom Benzinger.
Well, there you see Eisenreich a little late on the fastball, but it hits it certainly deep enough.
Oh, Gibson was a known there. Bret was the only unknown.
Sure. Well, George tagging up. He knows this field. Gibson scores for the 3rd consecutive time.
Benzinger out in front. Put a little short, quick stroke on that one. He's 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs tonight. Benzinger is, and has hit 2 of the softest ground balls you want to see.
In the right spots, though. Look at that, hitting .306 on the year.
I tell you, this game is funny. 3 ribbies on 2 little soft ground balls. That's smoked. That's fair. Bret, they're going to be held at 3rd as a double by Benzinger, and the Royals just hammering this thing.
Well, when you get a couple cheap hits or a cheap hit and an RBI, as Benzinger did his last time up there, it usually ignites something in you and you do something good. You hit the ball hard your next time up. Here's a curveball inside. Benzinger does a nice job of keeping that ball fair. You can see right down the 3rd baseline. Really didn't get out there too quick. Stayed back nicely. Uses his hands really well from the right side of the plate, as he showed you right there. And so runners at 2nd and 3rd, and we will have a new pitcher.
And we'll be back to tell you about him right after this.
We're in the 4th inning in Kansas City, and it's not pretty. Don Paul comes to work. There's 2 out, runners at 2nd and 3rd, and he's game 5-2 with a .289 earned run average. Don has worked 46 2/3 innings, given up 42 hits, 14 walks, 30 strikeouts. And he is on to pitch to the right-handed hitter, Bill Pacoda. Royals lead at 7-0. Well, they have just been tough tonight. Kansas City in this ballpark has always given the White Sox trouble, even though the Sox swept them in Kansas City the first time around. Sox were playing very good baseball, and the Royals were not. On the season, the Sox are 4-2 against Kansas City. But with Bret Saberhagen on the mound and a 7-0 deficit, you could almost rack it up right now. Here's Bill Pacoda. 2 down, 1 for 2 tonight. He's got an RBI double in the 3rd inning. He's batting .291 as he stands in there. Split finger pitch hit in the air. Left field, Tim Raines is there. And that'll do it. But not before the Royals come up with 2 more big runs on 2 hits. They had a hit batsman and a walk. They leave a couple runners stranded. We've completed 4 in Kansas City. It's 7-0 Royals. Top of the 5th inning here at Kansas City. It's 7-0 Royals. And here's a reminder, watch White Sox Weekly with Jeff Torborg and yours truly. And that will be on Sports Channel tomorrow night at 10:30. We're going opposite Johnny Carson. So now if you really want to find out the true story while Johnny is retiring, there it is. The competition. And we're back live at Kansas City. It has not been a pretty sight for White Sox fans. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Sox. 7-10-0 for Kansas City. Bret Saberhagen has got a no-hitter going, and might as well put the double whammy on him right now. Booga booga. Carlton Fisk going to lead things off for the Sox. He took a called 3rd strike back in the 2nd inning. Saberhagen has struck out 3. He's walked 1. There's a pop-up right side on the fastball. Couldn't get to it. Saberhagen has been overpowering with the fastball tonight, mixing in a couple curveballs and his changeup. They see what Pudge has done in his last 18 ball games. .333 hitter with 12 homers, with 12 RBIs, that is. Inside fastball, fouls this one left side. So Bret Saberhagen has not given anybody a pitch in their wheelhouse yet. Just dominating Sox hitters so far in this ball game. Oh, curveball just misses. He dropped down a bit. That's unfair. Pudge thinks so. Carlton, a .276 career hitter against Kansas City. He's played 172 ball games against these guys. 173 hits. There's that curveball we just talked about. 25 homers, 96 RBIs. So he's done a bunch of damage against Kansas City in his career. Pudge hitting at .265 as he stands in there. 10 homers, 51 RBIs. Royals outfield playing deep and straight away. Gibson very deep in left field. McRae kind of in center. He's a little late on the fastball once again. There's that defensive look. Usually in Kansas City, generally speaking, most of the teams that come in here will play in the gaps. They are big gaps. They'll give the team the lines and try to take away those big gaps where most teams will hit the ball. There's a curveball, misses outside. 2-2 to Fisk. Saberhagen has had trouble against the Sox in the past, just 4-6. Record .367 earned run average, higher than his career naturally. Career ERA. There's a changeup. Sox trying to think of something. A final. Minnesota beat Cleveland 5-3 at Cleveland Stadium. That's no good. Oh, there's jam shot right there. Did he catch it in the air? Yes, sir. Ted Hendry says so. Boy, he just got in there way deep. Lordy.
We better start thinking in terms of picks to click to break up this no-hitter.
Great idea. I'm staying with my guy.
I'm going to stay with my guy, Lance Johnson.
Oh, that's some severe jamming. See, that ball was way back in on him before he could swing.
Well, as we talked about up top, when Saberhagen is pitching inside, which he can, and he's got his good fastball and another pitch or two working for him, he's just tough.
Yeah, he can pitch inside on the plate, right on that inside corner, and just jam you with a devastating fastball.
He can probably do more with just the one pitch, the fastball, than anybody in this league, including Roger Clemens, because he can spot it better than Clemens can.
Yeah.
He doesn't throw as hard, but he can make it look as quick by the time he shows you a little of this, a little of that, whatever it may be.
Yeah, so you just got to dial it up a notch on Saberhagen. You can't sit on a breaking ball or changeup at all. He's going to give you a fastball to hit.
There it is.
There's a drive in the left center field gap. Gibson way back to the track, off his glove. the 385 sign. Pasqua's into second base. That was definitely a catchable ball. Gibson got there with that great speed. Off his glove and off the wall. See how they score it. That's a double.
Play that should have been made. Gibson could have got there a little quicker. There he just started timing and took his eye off of it. He stayed with it. Right here he just thinks he takes his eye off the ball. Play could have been caught very easily.
Yeah, with his kind of speed. I think he may have stuck his glove in front of his face. There's Lance Johnson. It's a first pitch fastball. He's late to Gibson. And we just hear it over the PA announcer. That was an error 7.
Yeah.
So that is not going to be a double for Pasqua. So Bret Saberhagen still has his no-hitter. Little cheer in the background that you may be hearing is the fact that they have changed that ruling from a double to an error on Kirk Gibson. So Saberhagen was still working with the no-no. And here's Karkovice, who walked his first time up. Kark takes the curveball outside, ball 1.
Well, I don't care if it had been 8 hits up on the board and 7 runs. That ball still should have been caught.
So you think that was the right call, the error?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a home run in a lot of ballparks.
We're not played in a lot of them.
Yeah. We're only playing one of them, aren't we? Yeah. Good reasoning. Yeah, Gibson was there, you know, in plenty of time, and he was playing deep too. So Saberhagen gets a little bit of a reprieve right there as far as a no-hitter. 2-0 pitch. Fat Carco hits it long and foul.
Boy, he killed it, didn't he? Did he kill that?
Yes, he killed that. That was about 100 feet out of here into the stands, almost to the top of the seats in those left field bleachers.
Fastball right. He just absolutely wheeled on it. That's as long as I've ever seen Kark hit a ball.
So a 2-1 pitch coming up. He wants it away. Fastball downstairs. Well, he had a little sinking action on that pitch. Now Saberhagen will throw the 2 different fastballs, won't he, Hawk? He'll throw a little bit of a 2-seamer and of course the 4-seamer.
Most of the time, majority of the 4-seamers.
4-seamer, yeah. But like that one right there, it looked like it had some movement downward. He kept it around the knees. It was a good pitch for him. There's another fastball.
What was it? 3 or 4 years ago, he pitched a game against us here that came up with one of the damnedest sinkers you ever want to see. I mean, just turning it over, the 2-seamer.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen him do that. That's really the only time I ever saw him do that. He just adjusted that night because he really didn't have as good velocity.
Well, that's what you have to do. What do you say? Pitcher goes out there, what, 2 out of every 5 times?
That's about the norm. Has his good stuff and good control.
So you got to battle him the rest of the time. 2-2. Curveball got him. Karkovice goes down. That's the 4th strikeout for Bret Saberhagen. We're halfway through this ball game. 7-0 Royals. We pause now for a break from our local affiliates. This copyrighted program is presented by the authority of Major League Baseball and the Chicago White Sox. It is intended for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written permission of Major League Baseball, Chicago White Sox, and Sports Channel Chicago is strictly prohibited.
It's not pretty, but there it is. 7-0 Kansas City.
The catcher, Bret May.
Just the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the lower third of the order. Maine, Howard, and Shumpert to face Don Paul. Maine 1 for 2, a single. That was in the 3rd inning. And he's flied to left. Royals with 2 in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th. Takes a strike. And want to send out a big White Sox hello to W.I. Fly, Wayne Nimitz, and Ottumwa, Iowa. Ottumwa, yes.
Yeah, we up to Ottumwa then.
Ozzie. 1 gone.
Those are all those guys that stole all your money, right?
Boy, I tell you, they got my money on a Ottumwa.
The shortstop, David Howard.
Here's David Howard. David 0 for 2. 24-year-old shortstop. They like the way he can play the defense. But he's going to have to hit a little more, and the only way you can hit is do exactly what Hal McRae is doing with David. It's by playing him. On the other side of that coin, Kurt Stillwell, a good-looking Major League shortstop.
Okay, you pick one.
Pick one?
Yeah.
Which one would I go with?
Yeah.
With this ball club right here, I would have this back through the middle. That's going to be a base hit. I would go, I'll tell you what, from what I've seen, I love Bruce Howard, and his dad, and David, and everything. I'd go with Stillwell.
Me too.
The second baseman, Terry Shumpert.
And
But
David Howard
again,
might
David,
be a great player.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
he's not. You know, that's why Hal McRae, even though they're trying to jump back in this thing in the West over here, he's just going to try to shore things up for starting off in a very solid way for 1992. Here's Terry Shumpert. And it might be, you know, it might be just one of those wake-up calls to Stillwell and or Seitzer. I don't know what the story is here. You know, we don't know. You have to be here every day to see what's going on. So there are a lot of conjectures or suppositions that could come out of it.
Yeah, but on the other side, what if these guys don't work out for next year? They're given the jobs for next season. They don't work out, and you lose those good players, Seitzer and Stillwell. Now you're in a real bind.
There's always a catch-22, always, in this game. That's why it's such a fascinating game. That ball gets away from Kargevais. The throw as Howard will get in there. That'll be a wild pitch.
Yeah, these Royals are running the bases like they did 15 years ago or so right now. And they're not actually stealing any bases, but they're aggressive on the base paths. They're tagging up, running on the guys that they think they can run on. Right there, the ball's in the dirt. David Howard got a great jump. As soon as that ball was in the dirt, he was off to the races. And Karkovice, I don't care if he has a shotgun back there, no chance to throw him out.
One-two pitch. Howard at second, one out. Full count with the leadoff hitter Brian McRae on deck. 7-11-1 for Kansas City. No runs, no hits, and one error for the Sox. He'll grab some bench. Second strikeout for Shumpert. First strikeout for the Pope.
That's a good split finger right here. Look at the bottom fall out right there on the outside corner at the knees. There aren't too many guys going to hit this pitch. Shumpert went down after it, but way over the top. So with two out, runner still at second base, here's Brian McRae.
Brian has scored a couple of runs tonight. He has a hit, was hit by a pitch, and he is lined out. Mentioned earlier, birthday boy tomorrow. He will be 24. Chopper right side. Somebody's got to hurry. Cora over to Big Frank. They get him, and it'll retire the side. Nothing across. There was a hit. No errors, the man left after 5. 7-0 KC. Right now, let's pause. Check that. Let's take a look at this Major League Scoring Update brought to you by Budweiser. That's the story. Top of the 6th inning. 7 runs, 11 hits for the Royals. No runs on no hits for the Sox. Bret Saberhagen walked one. There was one error, and I guess you could call it a questionable error, but I think it was an error. Gibson should have made the catch really in his back pocket. He did not. So for the Sox, it'll be Ozzie, then the top of the order, Raines and Cora. Ozzie bounced out 4-1 his first trip. First of this 3-game series here at beautiful Royal Stadium, just off I-70, which goes right down to St. Louis, just over those hills behind I-70. The James boys rode into infamy.
What kind of guys were they?
No.
You used to hang around with them?
Not a too good guys. Souvenir left side.
Did they get? How many strokes did they give you?
We got to put the Maloch on Saberhagen now.
Booga
Booga booga, the Maloch. We got to get something going here. We're just getting our fannies kicked and sitting up here. That's gas. Ninth inning at Pittsburgh. Pirates leading the Padres 5-4. Cincinnati beat the Phillies 5-4 at Riverfront. Atlanta leading Montreal. They came back. They're leading now 8-7 in the 7th inning down in Georgia. Justice has a home run in that ball game.
Tell you what, if Saberhagen keeps throwing his fastball upstairs, he's going to get a lot of guys, a lot of weak pop-ups.
What you're saying is he going to get a no-hitter, huh?
Yes, sir. Unless our guys can lay off that pitch.
Pull the string on him there. Popped up. That'll be out of play. (5-3) St. Louis leading San Francisco. Will Clark is homered, number 25. Ozzie Smith is homered, number 2. Bud Black is having some problems the last 3 or 4 times out there for the Gigantes. Souvenir. Count hangs at 1-2. Little Timmy Tuffle homered for San Diego, number 7. And at 5-4. Pittsburgh lead. Padres hitting in the top of the 9th. Darren Dalton, Charlie Hayes went deep. For Dalton, number 10. For Hayes, number 9. But to no avail as the Reds beat them 5-4. Kevin Tapani was the winner over Dave Otto. Minnesota beat him 5-2. Ryan Harper, number 7. Kirby Puckett, number 14. And Shane Mack, number 16. All went deep. To Hopper, Pacoda.
You know, of all those pitchers on the Minnesota staff, the one I like best is Tapani. Over Morris and
Erickson.
Erickson, yeah.
I like him better than Erickson. I don't like him better than Morris. I like him, yeah, for long term. I do, yeah, because of his youth. I'm talking about this year. Hey, they're doing it. You know, give them credit. They are definitely doing it.
Well, it gives you a consistent effort every time you're out there. That's the thing I like about Tapani. Not overpowering.
Rock takes some gas. 0-1 to count. Timmy has struck out and bounced to short. Royals with 2 in the first, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth. There's a breaking ball strike and the count 0-2. Charlie Huff started, went 2 in the third. Relieved by Patterson, won an inning, and now the Pope, Don Paul. Just off the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. Up high, 2-2. St. Louis now leading San Francisco 7-6, fifth inning at Busch Stadium. Mets leading Houston 3-2, top of the sixth down in Texas. So Rock has worked him to a full count. Two gone. Fifth strikeout for Saberhagen.
Second time Raines has been called out. Like a changeup right here.
The second baseman, Joey Cora.
Yeah. Changeup caught the inside corner. It's about belt high. You see Raines committed early. His hands came forward, and that way he had no chance to pull the trigger on that pitch. So there's two down here in the sixth inning. Joey Cora, the hitter.
He struck out and bounced to first. Fastball inside corner.
On Friday, August 30th at 7:05, the White Sox host the Indians, and the first 20,000 adults will receive a hip pack. Call or visit your local ticket master at 312-831-1-SOX. Yep.
0-2 the count. With a mention of that hip pack. Double XL for the Whimperoo, please.
Maybe triple. Been eating a lot lately, so.
Boy, I tell you and I both. Every time we lose like this, I just go into a seafood diet.
I know. Eat everything that
you see.
Yeah.
It depresses me. I know it does you too. You know, you're with a club and as close to the club as we are. You get the emotions, and even though we've been around it a long time, virtually all our lives, it's still it's a downer. Watch out. That almost took his helmet off. Ball and 2 strikes to Cora.
He's trying to come up and in. He does on 0-2.
Tried the backdoor and missed, and the count evens at 2. Now, you know, you sit there and you think about possible remedies. You look at the lineup every day as we do when we fill out our scorebooks, and you say, is this a good lineup? Could it be better? Could it be different? So all these things come into play. Souvenir left side. And that's the nature of the game. As a skipper, but he's the one that has the responsibility, and he's the one, as much as we suffer, we're not even the same league with the suffering that Jeff goes through. I mean, here's a guy that has got his club well prepared every day to go out there and play a game. They run into this slump right here for the last 2 weeks. It's killing him. Look at this. 1-2-3 inning on a broken bat, little soft line drive for Saberhagen. After 5.5, 7-0 Royals. Right now, let's pause to that break from our local affiliates.
We're back at Kansas City, 7-0 Royals, and our next televised ball game on Sports Channel will be Wednesday at 7:30. The Sox against the Kansas City Royals once again. That'll be followed by our Sports Channel report. Starting pitchers will be Greg Hibbert for the Sox. The left-hander is 8-10 with a 4.43 earned run average. He'll be opposed by young right-hander Kevin Apier, 10-9 with a 3.30 ERA. Bottom of the sixth inning. Royals putting a hurting on the White Sox tonight, 7-0. It'll be Kirk Gibson, George Bret, and Jim Eisenreich, the first 3 hitters to face Don Paul this inning. Gibson 2 for 2 on the night. He has scored 3 runs and driven in 1. Split finger pitch misses outside. One thing for certain, Kirk Gibson is running extremely well. He had those leg problems the last few years with the Dodgers. Of course, his batting average sure isn't up to snuff right now, 247. He's got 15 homers, 50 RBIs on the season. Splitter misses down and in, so Gibson goes ahead in the count now, 2-0. Kirk Gibson, 33 years old now, pulls this one right side. Joey Cora on 2 hops, makes the throw, and there's 1 up, 1 down in the 6th.
The designated hitter, George Bret.
That'll bring up George Bret. George has a perfect night working for himself too. He's 1 for 1, a sacrifice fly and a walk. Single. He has driven in a run and scored 1. George just trying to regroup. Had some knee problems. He's going to be the designated hitter the rest of this season. Really puts a lot of limitations on Hal McRae, because I know he'd love to use some of those outfielders in the DH role, especially it gets so hot here in Kansas City during the summertime, especially Gibson, who has had leg problems. There's a line shot right back up the middle. So George Bret 2 for 2, and once again he's thinking double, hustling all the way to first base, making that wide turn. So George working on a perfect night as well. Boy, George Bret gets hot. I'll tell you, for a month he will not hit the ball on the bad part of the bat. He'll hit it hard 4 times every game. That'll bring up Eisenreich. Jim is 1 for 2 on the night. He has a single, sacrifice fly, and an RBI. Boy, Eisenreich has been a great addition to this Kansas City ball club. Last 2 years at 293 and 280. There's a splitter outside, 1-1. Do a lot of things to help the ball club. He's not going to hit for a whole lot of power, especially in this ballpark, but he has extra base power. 17 doubles on the year. Can run. There's 1 down and in. Eisenreich is 31 years old now. Was born in St. Cloud, Minnesota. There's Joey Cora. He's going to make the play to second base. Force out, and George Bret goes down. Eisenreich safe on the fielder's choice. 4-6 on that if you're scoring at home. And
The first baseman,
Sox fans can take advantage of specially selected weekends for a Chicago White Sox ticket package at the Hyatt Regency. You can spend the weekend in luxury at the beginning of the Magnificent Mile and enjoy all the excitement of White Sox baseball. Make reservations at the Hyatt when the Sox play the Seattle Mariners September 27th through the 29th. Here's Benzinger. Hits this one in the air to center field. Lance Johnson right there. He is camped. He'll make the play, and Don Paul will pitch out of it. So in the 6th inning, no runs, 1 hit. They leave a runner. From Kansas City, it is still 7-0 Royals.
Bret Saberhagen, 27-year-old right-hander, has given up no runs on no hits through 6 innings. There you see the 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. And, you know, talking about no hitters, there have been a few thrown this year, and look what happened to the clubs after the no-hitter. Texas, when Nolan Ryan did it, 2-6. Philadelphia's Tommy Green did it. They went 5-13. Baltimore, they went 4-12. Montreal went 1-11. The Sox went 2-12 after that no-hitter by Wilson Alvarez in Baltimore.
So the moral of the story is
don't throw a no-hitter.
Right. Stay away from them.
It'll be Thomas, Ventura, and Fisk to face Saberhagen. Atlanta now leading Montreal 10-7. They trail that game 7-1. That's hit hard right at Brian McRae. Comes in.
Whoa.
Makes the catch. He almost misjudged it. Big Franco for 3.
Frank Thomas hit it hard right here. Take a look. Fastball. He tried to get it inside, but Big Frank opened up a bit early right there. He knew Saberhagen was thinking about it. He adjusted to his last at bat, but Frank, no luck right there. 1 up, 1 down here in the 7th.
Robin is bounced to second. Fastball. Souvenir tardy.
In case you're wondering, Bret Saberhagen has not pitched a no-hitter in his career. Has no one-hitters. 5 2-hitters. 8 3-hitters.
1-1 to count. Pops this one up into left field, playable. Gibson. Two gone.
Designated hitter, Carlton Fisk.
He's not screwing around with him. He's just coming right at him.
Yeah, his best stuff. If he's going to get it, if somebody's going to get a hit off him, he's going to make sure it's on that fastball, so he won't have any misgivings or anything like that when he looks back on this game.
Here's Carlton. He struck out and then hit that little soft line drive back to Saberhagen, who ate him up with a fastball inside. He's still bringing it.
Oh, pop, and you hear that pop all the way up here. That catcher's mitt. Well, he's thinking about it. I don't know. He's going to give it his best shot.
Another fastball, and the count 1-1. There's the off-speed pitch, but as Wimpy mentioned, he's not going to make the mistake with that off-speed pitch. If he makes a mistake, it's definitely going to be with a fastball. That way you can live with yourself in case it does not come off. Ball and 2 strikes, 2 out here in the 7th. David Howard. 1-2-3 inning. After 6.5, 7-0. Kansas City right now. Let's pause for our Old Spice.
Now let's take a look at our Old Spice scoreboard in the American League. Minnesota over Cleveland 5-3. Toronto beat Baltimore by 5-2 margin. Texas creaming the Yankees 10-2 at Yankee Stadium. They're in the 9th inning. Boston and Oakland just getting started on the West Coast. Milwaukee 3-0 over Seattle in the 1st. And Detroit and California just getting started at Anaheim. 5-4 Cincinnati over Philadelphia. 5-5 tie San Diego at Pittsburgh in the 9th inning. 8-7 Atlanta over Montreal there in the 7th inning. Dodgers losing to the Cubs 3-0 in the 8th. 3-2 the Mets over Houston in the 6th. And St. Louis 7, San Francisco 6. They're in the 5th inning at Busch.
Bill Pecota leads off the Kansas City 7th. 7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for the Royals. No runs, no hits, and 1 error for the Sox. So on the outside corner in the count 0-2. Pecota has a double and an RBI that came back in the 3rd inning. Royals scored 2 in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th. No ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. Devon White and Mike Devereaux homered in that Toronto victory over Baltimore. In the right field, Pasqua. So 1 out, and that'll bring up the catcher, Brent Maine.
The catcher, Brent Maine.
Mentioned earlier, Expos were leading the Braves 7-1. It's now 10-7. Atlanta. Grant hits a 1-hopper, soft 1-hopper to Cora. 2 quick out. In case you're looking to the Sox 8th, Pasqua, Johnson, and Karkovice.
The shortstop, David Howard.
So 2 out, and here's the shortstop, David Howard. David has a base hit. was a single back in the 5th inning, right back through the middle. Outfield shading him around to the left. Takes a fastball strike. Tomorrow, Wilson Alvarez against the southpaw Mark Davis. Then on Wednesday in the finale, Greg Hibbert against Kevin Apier. One and one to count. To use that splitter foul. Not a whole lot of joy in Mudville the last couple of weeks. Cora throws him out, so Don Paul has himself a 1-2-3 inning. And after 7, a no-hitter for Bret Saberhagen as Kansas City leads it 7-0. That's the story here as we move to the top of the 8th inning. 7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for the Royals. No runs, no hits, and 1 error for the Sox. As Wimpy told you, Bret Saberhagen has never pitched a no-hitter. He has a few 2-hitters, a few 3-hitters, a whole bunch of 2, 3, and 4 hitters. So he's 6 outs away from it, and it'll be Pasqua, Johnson, and Karkovice, the scheduled hitters here in the top of the 8th inning. Bret has had an outstanding fastball tonight. Good control of that. Used his curveball really as just a show-me pitch. Spotted the changeup well. So basically, for the most part, he's been, in effect, a 2-pitch pitcher while showing the other one just for effect.
Yeah, but when you got that overpowering fastball that he has tonight, spotting it so well, that counts about 3 or 4 by itself.
Well, here's Danny. He has the only questionable. Out in this game thus far as a curveball misses. He had a fly ball into deep left center field. Kirk Gibson went back. Should have made the play. Did not. The scorer originally gave him a double and then changed it after looking at the replay to an error, to which Wimpy and I both agreed was the proper call. Even though we'd love to see Danny get the base hit and the no-hitter be broken up from the Sox point of view, it was a good call changing it. Fastball inside and the count 2-1.
Well, you can still hear him popping that glove, that leather. Right there on the inside fastball to Pasqua. Hadn't lost a thing. And there's no future in swinging at that one.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield for the most part straight up. Bit of a gap between McRae and Gibson. Curveball low. So a full count to Danny.
Wow.
Thank you. Leadoff walk. Second walk issued by Saberhagen. And here comes Lance Johnson. Lance is flied to right. And he's flied to left. Takes a fastball high. And he is my pick to break this thing up. You stayed with Robin, didn't you?
Yeah.
This was
Oh,
an
yeah,
extra
Lance.
3 golf balls.
Okay.
Into left center field. Gibson coming on. Makes a terrific catch. And there's one gone.
The catcher, Ron Cartwright.
That'll bring up Kirk. The only 2 balls that have been hit hard by far, Karkovice hit one just foul. Back in the 5th inning with Pasco aboard, he hit one way back in those seats, just foul. And he eventually struck out in that at bat. And then Lance Johnson's line drive to right field in the 3rd inning. Outside of that, it has been zip.
Right.
Chopper left side. Nice pickup by Pacoda. Throws him out. Two gone.
5-3. Watch it. Short hop right there. Good play by Pacoda as he charges. Makes this play a lot easier than it was. Well, by charging that ball right there, making sure he got the true hop, that being the short one. So there's 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And on our Bo watch, Bo Jackson went 2 for 4 tonight with a couple of singles as Birmingham lost. 11,859, the 2nd largest crowd ever at Hoover Metropolitan Stadium in Birmingham.
Ozzie fouls it away. So Saberhagen coming right at him. Outstanding fastball. Young right-hander has had this evening. Four more outs as the Royals lead it 7-0. Right back, come hard, comebacker. What a play by Saberhagen, and he gets it. Boy, he hit a bullet, one hopper right back, and it was a look what I got. That'll do it. Nothing across. No hits, no errors, one left after 7.5. It's 7-0 Royals right now. Let's pause for that break from our local affiliates.
Scott Rudinsky is the new White Sox pitcher, appearing in his 50th ball game tonight. He's 4-4, 2.18 earned run average. Brad has worked 53 2/3 innings, given up 44 hits. He's saved 4, striking out 40 while just walking a 16.
Terry Shepard leads it off. Amarillo behind the plate. 7-0 Kansas City. Shepard has singled and struck out twice. But if you just got home and joined us late, totals on the board for the Royals: 7 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error. For the Sox, no runs, no hits, and an error. For the Sox in the top of the 9th inning, it'll be the top of the order. Raines, Cora, and Thomas. As that pitch just inside, and the count 1-2. So Rad, the 4th Sox pitcher of the evening. That'll be Souvenir right side. Don Paul did an outstanding job, working 3 1/3, very easy, giving up just 2 hits. No walks, had a strikeout. Well, Wimpy, it appeared, according to the stats, that the no-hitter was the thing to get the Sox in this funk. Maybe it'll take a no-hitter to get him out of it.
Maybe.
Breaking ball, fouls it off. Do you think he's going to get it?
Yep.
I do too. I do too.
No,
Like we just same thing we thought Wilson was going to get it in the 7th inning in that Baltimore game.
That's right.
Checks it up, takes it low, and the count evens at 2. Texas defeated the Yankees 10-2 in the Bronx. Minnesota over Cleveland 5-3 in Ohio. Blue Jays beat the Orioles 5-2 in Maryland. No score, bottom of the second. Boston at the Coliseum against the A's. Milwaukee leading Seattle 3-0. Bottom of the second at the Kingdome. And later on, the Tigers take on the Halos at the Big A under new manager Buck Rogers. As Doug Rader was fired this afternoon, Buck Rogers was brought in, so he indeed is the new skipper for the California Angels. Payoff pitch. Pops him up. Ozzie. Now Ventura.
And a reminder that the White Sox wives and daughters will play the Grandstand Wives Saturday, August 31st at 11 a.m. at Armour Park Square, which is located at 33rd and Shields, right across the street from New Comiskey Park. And the donation is $1 per raffle ticket. And Pete tells us from Grandstand that there are some great little prizes out there.
Well, if he's
Great
involved in it, I'll guarantee you there's some good ones. Brian McRae. Brian 1 for 3, a base hit, a couple of runs scored. Hits it hard to Cora, easy one hopper. And there's 2 gone, so we're getting closer and closer to the top of the 9th inning, where Bret Saberhagen is going to try for his first ever no-hitter.
Left fielder, Kurt Gibson.
Tigers put a quick one on the board as they just posted it. They are still hitting in the top of the first inning in California. Kurt Gibson, he has scored 3 times tonight, driven in 1. Takes a strike. Breaking ball misses. Chopper right side. Somebody's got to get there. Nobody.
No, you just cannot. You can't sit back on that one. There's no way you can. Not with a guy like Gibson. Well, you can't do that on anyone. You got to come in right now and get it. Look at Gibson. He's already passed the bag when Frank picks it up. Well, it's just an experience factor right there. Frank has just not played a whole lot of first base, and until he gets it down, those little moves, he's just going to have a little bit of trouble out there. But he needs to play.
He definitely needs to play over there as George steps in. George is 2 for 2 tonight. A sacrifice fly, 2 singles, a walk, and a run scored. Takes it high off the plate. Thomas playing behind Gibson. At first base, as that one's chopped foul, and the count evens at 1. A ball, a strike, 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Just off the plate. And once again, it'll be the top of the order. Raines, Cora, and Thomas to try to break up Bret Saberhagen's no-hitter. That's foul back. So the count 2-2.
Excuse me, Hawk. George looks like he's getting close to going on one of those streaks of his. You know, it looks like he's getting some good rips up there, especially on the pitches down. Upstairs, he just hasn't quite. Well, of course, not many guys are going to catch up to Radinsky's fastball, but he's had some good swings at pitches down tonight. He goes.
I hope it's a little later because we got 7 out of the last 11 games.
That's what I'm afraid of.
11 games with him. And that's up high.
Well, you know it. He'll go a month and where he won't hit a ball soft.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. That's ripped. Joey Cora makes the play, and that'll do it. So stay with us as we'll go to the top of the 9th inning, trailing Kansas City 7-0. But Bret Saberhagen has a no-hitter. It's the top of the 9th inning here at Royal Stadium in Kansas City. Kansas City leads it 7-0, and that is the line on Bret Saberhagen through 8. No runs, no hits. He has walked 2, has 5 strikeouts. For the Sox here in the 9th, it'll be the top of the order. Tim Raines, Joey Cora, and Big Frank Thomas as Bret Saberhagen tries to pick up the first no-hitter of his career. Fastball high off the plate. Raines has struck out twice and bounced to short. Right side. Terry Shumpert. 1 gone. Eight and a third innings of no-hit baseball by 27-year-old right-hander Bret Saberhagen. Here's Joey Cora. He struck out, bounced to first, and hit a little weak, soft line drive back to Saberhagen. Fastball inside, and the count 1-0. 1-1 the count for Bret Saberhagen. With 1 out, a ball and a strike to Cora. A ball and 2 strikes. Curveball low in the dirt. Dug out nicely by youngster Brent Maine.
Well, he's just showing him that curveball. Maybe go see if the fish were biting at the fat curveball in the dirt. He definitely didn't want to throw a strike for risk of hanging it. Right there, I agree with you, Hawk. I think he's going to come back upstairs with a fastball.
2-2 delivery.
Whoa.
Full count to Cora. Into right field. Jim Eisenreich. 2 out. Fans, 25,164 come to their feet as it's Big Frank Thomas. 2 out, top of the 9th, a no-hitter at stake. Fastball inside. Curveball hit right to Terry Shumpert. He's going to get it. Bret Saberhagen pitches the first no-hitter of his career the Sox 7-0. Well, Redby, certainly our congratulations go to the 27-year-old right-hander Bret Saberhagen, as he has come close many times in his young career, two-time Cy Young Award winner. And tonight, as we talked about early on in this ball game, I think it was probably as early as the third or fourth inning, we talked about the spotting of the fastball, that he had indeed a no-hit fastball this evening, and he did it. Only 2 balls hit hard.
Well, we even actually sensed it looking at each other when he struck out Tim Raines in the first inning, the way he popped that fastball. He's certainly capable of doing it. He's one of the few guys in baseball that has that ability to throw a no-hitter every time he goes to the mound. So certainly congratulations to Bret. He just overpowered him tonight. It was a mismatch.
All right, a no-hitter by Bret Saberhagen as the Sox now have lost 7 in a row. Final score, 7-0 Kansas City. And Wimpy and I'll be back to wrap it up right after this.